Avian timekeepers, the dove watch of Solstice. So he waited yet another 7 days, and again he sent out the dove from the ark. And the dove came to him toward evening, and behold, in her beak was a freshly picked olive leaf. So Noah knew that the water had abated from the earth.
ויחל עוד 7 ימים אחרים, ויוסף שלח את היונה מן התיבה. ותבוא אליו היונה לעת ערב, והנה עלה זית טרף בפיה. וידע נוח כי כלו המים מעל הארץ.
This date in Stellarium is 1 day after the summer solstice of that date. That is the longest day and shortest night. This date also appears to mark the end of Saturn's apparent retrograde motion. Saturn is here when the raven and the first dove are released. 7 days later, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Saturn is here at this dove. Then for the last dove, 7 days later, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We will look at this shortly. We now focus our attention to the day in history when this second dove was released. During these last 7 days, the sun has moved from the constellation letter Wav into Zayin. The narrative adds the small but significant detail. And behold, in her beak was a freshly picked olive leaf. The word behold is hine, and is instructing us to look closer. The word olive starts with the letter Zayin, Zait. Personally, I found this letter Zayin much easier to pick out within the Milky Way. To the left of the bright, white, dove-like nebula, we find the color shift to a brownish red. It is in this region that we can discover a dark nebula with the shape of the letter Zayin. At this point in deciphering this ancient calendar puzzle, it should be no surprise that the letter Zayin Nebula is near the mouth of the white Wav dove-like nebula. The shape and meaning of Zayin relate to seed or zera, which we will not go into detail at this time. The concept of the sun moving from Wav to Zayin in relationship to a dove and olive leaf continue to add to the heap of clues that aid us in deciphering this ancient calendar system. The shapes that resemble the letters in the Milky Way nebula are all distinct from each other, each shape being cross-referenced to the ecliptic using the sunset horizon as a transversal line. Yet it became apparent through my multiple attempts to find the bright constellation stars on the ecliptic that there is an overlap of the constellation letters. The constellation letters He, Wav, and Zayin require some sharing of the bright stars, even with some small overlapping. It may be that the narrative is attempting to describe in words the shared and overlapping relationships between the window, the dove, and the olive leaf. Later, I noticed two other interesting white nebulas next to the raven. White nebulas that also resembled the shapes of doves. Not only that, but it is flying above a box-like arc. The arc has what looks to be a door on the side. The top corner has what resembles a window with someone reaching out. I wish there was a wise man or magi today to ask questions about this arc-like nebula. While attempting to decipher this, it appears that the narrative is describing not just one, but multiple dove scenes. Even though this study is difficult and wrought with potential for errors, I feel it is still worthy of an attempt to decipher the details. The narrative reads, "So Noah knew that the water was abated from the earth. At this time, the constellation letters that marked out Teva are completely below the horizon at sunset. The blue band of water-like stars has been replaced with a central red portion of the Milky Way. In an attempt to decipher this calendar picture in words, it could be said that the dry land has reappeared." On this day, the moon is in Sheen, rising in the east around 11 p.m. In an earlier chapter, we had compared how Sheen and Mem had a similar shape. I'm going to use this opportunity to diverge slightly from the timeline of the narrative in order to consider this letter Sheen with this ancient calendar system. Sheen is to the right of the arc, or Teva. Sheen means teeth, which is most fitting. When you push air through your teeth, then your mouth makes the sound of this letter. Shh. In calendar terms, if we rewind time back several months to when the sunset is in Sheen, we find this region marks an important shift in weather. The temperature transitions from below zero to above zero, and spring rains come. Rains which would accelerate snowmelt. Both snowmelt and rain are fitting for the Sheen shh sound. In the next chapter, we will explore the sending of the last dove, a time frame which marks yet another apparent retrograde motion.